Good morning, and welcome to the 2025 Annual Meeting of Stockholders of Atlanta Braves Holdings, Inc. I would now like to turn the meeting over to Terry McGuirk, Chairman, President, and CEO of Atlanta Braves Holdings.
Good morning, and welcome to the 2025 Atlanta Braves Holdings Annual Meeting of Stockholders. Thank you all for taking the time to join us today. Before we start the meeting, I'd like to make a few introductions. First, it is my pleasure to introduce our Board of Directors who are all in attendance virtually today. They are Brian Deevy, Wanya Lucas, and Diana Murphy. Next, I would like to introduce Greg Heller, our Executive Vice President, Chief Legal Officer, and Corporate Secretary. And finally, I'd like to recognize Brett Bernstein of KPMG, the company's independent auditor, who is also in attendance today. We'll begin today with the formal business portion of the meeting. This consists of the election of director nominees named in the proxy statement and ratification of KPMG as the company's independent auditor for the 2025 fiscal year. After that, we will provide time to respond to questions that have been properly submitted by stockholders. I now officially call the 2025 Atlanta Braves Holdings Annual Meeting of Stockholders to order. Greg is serving as Secretary of the meeting. A representative from Broadridge Financial Solutions is serving as our Inspector of Elections. As of April 15th, 2025, which is the record date for the meeting, there were approximately 10,318,162 shares of the company's Series A common stock and 977,776 shares of the company's Series B common stock entitled to vote. A majority in total voting power of these shares is needed for a quorum. Over 92% of total voting power for these shares are represented today. Therefore, we have a quorum. If you haven't voted yet and would like to vote today, you may do so by clicking on the voting button on the web portal and following the instructions there. If you have voted already, you don't need to vote again. I now declare the polls open for voting. The first item of business is the election of directors, which is item 1 on your ballot. The board has nominated the individuals named in the proxy statement to serve for a 3-year term through the 2028 annual meeting. Your board recommends that you vote for both of these nominees. We'll now move on to the next proposal. The next item is the ratification of the appointment of KPMG as the independent auditor of the company for the 2025 fiscal year, which is item 2 on your ballot. Your board recommends that you vote for this proposal. We'll now move on to the preliminary voting results. The ballots have been collected and the polls are now closed. Greg, would you please review the preliminary voting results?
Thank you, Terry. The preliminary voting results for the company proposals are as follows. Both of the director nominees named in the proxy statement have been elected to serve for a 3-year term to the 2028 annual meeting. Over 99% of the votes cast have also voted in favor of the ratification of the appointment of KPMG. Based on the preliminary vote count, the nominees for the board of directors have been elected, and the appointment of KPMG as the company's independent auditor the 2025 fiscal year has been ratified. Please note that any ballots collected on the web portal will be verified and tabulated by our Inspector of Elections. Final results of the vote will be available in a Form 8-K, which we will file within 4 days after this meeting.
This concludes our formal business portion of the meeting. Seeing that there are no questions from stockholders, I declare the meeting adjourned. Thank you for your attendance and continued support of Atlanta Braves Holdings.
The meeting has now concluded. Thank you for joining and have a pleasant day.